All right, so let's talk money. Like when you hit that $50,000 savings mark, you know, it feels great, but it's also a turning point, right? You need to make that money really work for you. So how do we do that? Well, how about annuities? I know what you're thinking. Annuities, really. But stick with me here. Imagine earning 13 times the interest of a regular savings account. That's what certain annuities can offer. So think about it. It's basically like a contract. You give a company some savings, and they promise to pay you back, usually in regular installments, often even for life. You're basically creating a steady stream of income, which would be really helpful as you get closer to retirement. One type that stands out is the fixed annuity. You know exactly what you're going to get because it offers a fixed interest rate. No matter what the market does, your principal is protected, so you don't have to worry about those stock market swings. But of course, there's always a trade-off, right? Annuities offer that guaranteed growth, but the returns are generally lower than what you might get in the stock market. You're choosing predictability and security over potentially higher returns. And another thing, while you can usually withdraw some money early, there might be surrender charges if you take out too much before a certain time. So read the fine print. But what if you're looking for something a bit more tangible, with a little more history behind it? Let's talk about precious metals, gold and silver. Throughout history, people have turned to gold and silver when things are uncertain. Why? Well, they tend to hold their value, even when economies get rocky or inflation is rising. It's like a safety net for your portfolio. Now, you could buy gold or silver directly, coins bars, you name it. But there's another interesting option. It's called a precious metals IRA. You can hold physical gold or silver within a retirement account, which means you get the tax advantages of a traditional IRA or 401k. Your investments grow tax-deferred, and you only pay taxes when you withdraw funds during retirement. So why go for a precious metals IRA? Well, you get the stability of gold and silver. Plus those tax benefits, it's a win-win. Especially if you're thinking long-term. You might be thinking, what if I need my precious metals before retirement? Well, don't worry. A lot of reputable precious metals companies offer buyback programs. They'll buy back your gold or silver at a fair price. It provides some liquidity if you need to access your funds. So precious metals could be a smart way to diversify your portfolio, hedge against inflation, and maybe even benefit from those tax advantages with a precious metals IRA. But what about something that could bring in a steady stream of income? That's where real estate comes in. Yeah, real estate's always been a popular way to make that passive income. I mean, who doesn't love the idea of owning rental properties? Collecting rent checks every month. But being a landlord isn't always easy, is it? You've got to deal with tenants and property maintenance, late-night calls about plumbing emergencies. It could be a lot. So what if you could invest in real estate without the hassle? That's where things get interesting. There are platforms changing the game, allowing folks to invest in rental homes and vacation properties with surprisingly low starting investments. You can become a real estate investor without buying a whole property. It's called real estate crowdfunding. It's making real estate investing accessible to just about anyone. You can invest in a diversified portfolio of properties, single-family homes to vacation rentals. So how does it work? You create an account on one of these platforms, browse the properties, and choose the ones that fit your goals. Once you've invested, you receive regular rental income payments. Based on your ownership share, it's like getting part of the rent checks without the landlord headaches. Plus, you benefit from any appreciation in the property's value. So you're tapping into two income streams, rental income and property value appreciation. But of course, just like any investment, real estate has risks. Property values fluctuate, rental income isn't always guaranteed, and there could be unexpected expenses. But these crowdfunding platforms, they help to mitigate some of those risks. They carefully vet the properties, manage the day-to-day operations, and provide transparency. It's a way to get involved in real estate in a more hands-off way, and potentially less risky than going it alone. But let's get back to annuities and precious metals for a second. No investment is foolproof, right? Each one has pros and cons. Annuities offer guaranteed growth, but they might not keep pace with inflation. And precious metals, they've historically held their value, but they don't generate income like rental properties. So how do you decide? That's where a good investment strategy comes in. It should align with your goals, your risk tolerance, and your time horizon. If you're feeling overwhelmed, remember there's help out there. Financial advisors can be super helpful. They can assess your situation, understand your risk tolerance, and develop a plan that meets your needs. They can walk you through the options, explain the risks and rewards, help you make informed decisions. They're like your financial coach, guiding you along the way. Now, you might be wondering, how do I find a good financial advisor? Well, there are a few key things to keep in mind. Make sure they're a fiduciary. That means they're legally obligated to act in your best interest. You should also ask about their experience, qualifications, fee structure. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Shop around until you find an advisor you trust. But remember, even with an advisor, you're responsible for your decisions. Stay informed, do your research, actively participate in the process. Achieving financial security, it's a journey, not a destination. It takes time, effort, and a willingness to learn and adapt. But by understanding the options, crafting a strategy that aligns with your goals, seeking guidance when you need it, you can make your money work harder, pave the path towards a more secure financial future. All right, so let's get down to actually getting started with these strategies. If you're interested in annuities, first step, do your homework, shop around, compare different providers and products, look for companies with solid ratings and a proven track record. It's like buying a car, you know. You wouldn't just pick the first one you see. Pay attention to the fees. Some have high surrender charges, which can make it expensive to get your money early. And understand the contract. What's the interest rate? How long is the payout? Any penalties for early withdrawals? Now, if precious metals are more your thing, gold and silver, start by learning about the different types of investments. You've got bullion, coins, ETFs. Each one has its own pros and cons. Once you understand that a little better, think about whether a precious metals IRA is right for you. Remember, it lets you hold physical gold or silver within a retirement account with those tax benefits. If that sounds good, find a reputable custodian who specializes in those accounts. They'll help you through the process, from picking specific products to storing them correctly. And what about real estate? If you want to skip the landlord headaches, check out those real estate crowdfunding platforms. Each one has its own rules, fees, and how they choose properties. So do your research, compare them, find one that fits you. Before you invest in any property, look at the details, location, rental history, what returns they're projecting. Don't put all your eggs in one basket either. Spread your investments out. Reduce your risk. Real estate takes time, so be patient. You won't get rich quick. Focus on building a solid portfolio that can create passive income and hopefully increase in value. So remember, investing is personal. What works for one person might not work for you. The important thing is to educate yourself, get advice from people you trust, and make decisions that are right for your goals. Take control of your finances, make your money work harder, build a more secure future. Keep learning, keep exploring, and remember, the power is in your hands.